Hello viewers, my name is Indicices. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Indicices Online Math and Physics. In this video, we are going to start from where we stop. We discussed in our previous video. We discussed about we are still on indices. Yes, we are still on indices. Also, law of indices. Yes, so we are still on the law of indices. We stop at number 5. So don't forget that we have covered multiplication law of indices, we have covered division law of indices, we have covered power law, we have covered product power law, we have covered what? Zero index. So now we are going to the sixth law of indices. Sixth law of indices. So the sixth law of indices is what? Negative index. Negative index. Please do well to go and look at the previous laws. It's very important. If you don't know the law of indices, you won't solve any question on indices. That's how extent it goes. So it depends on the law for you to solve the questions. Now, negative index. When we're talking about negative index, whenever a number is raised to the power of what? Negative number. For example, if you have x raised to the power of -1, how will you attempt to this? So x raised to the power of -1. The law says that whenever you have a number that raised to the power of a negative number, see what I'm going to do. It becomes 1 over x. So this x will now take the positive power of this instead of the negative ones. So what is the positive power of 1? Is 1 like this. So it becomes 1 over x. So the same thing if you have x raised to the power of -2. So the law says that it becomes 1 over x. So what is the positive power of -2? Is 2, right? 2. So this becomes the answer. So if you have x raised to the power -3, what we are going to do is 1 over x. So the x will now raise to the power of positive number of this -3, which is what? 3. So this is how the law goes. So for example now, if you see something like this, 2 raised to the power of -1, it becomes 1 over 2 raised to the power 1. So it will take the positive power of the power. So the positive is what? 1. So and 1 over 2 raised to the power 1 is what? 1 over 2. And another one is 2 raised to the power -2. So when you have something like this, it becomes 1 over 2 raised to the power. So it will, the 2 now it takes the positive power of this sign, which is what? 2. So it becomes 1 over what? 4. So this is how it works. So this is the law of negative index in indices. So if you know this, you can be able to solve whenever you come across it, because in indices some question takes, you can use 4 laws to solve one question. So whenever you come across this, you can be able to deal with it. So the next one, the law 7, is what? Root power. Root power and fractional root power, and I want to combine the law because it's almost the same thing. I want to combine the law. In some textbooks they split the law. They say root power and fractional index, that they split it. But now I want to combine it. Root power and what? Fractional index. Now, what is this thing? This law is telling us now. What this law is telling us is that whenever we have something like this, if you have something like let me clean this. Permit me to clean this. Whenever we have something like this, s raised to the power 1 over 2, it's telling us that the denominator, because when you have something like this, a over b, this is what is called the numerator, and this is called what? The numerator. The denominator. Yes, the denominator. So this one is called numerator, and the down one is what? Denominator. So now it's telling us that the denominator will form a root. If this place is 2, it forms square root. If it is 3, cube root. If it is 4, fourth root. And this one, the numerator will form power. So we have something like the square root of x raised to the power of 1. So if you check this, you have this 2 now becomes roots, and this denominator, which is 1, becomes the power. So, and you can write it like this if you like, x raised to the power 1. So it can also be like this. It's the same thing. So if you have something like this, x raised to the power 1 over 3, so it's the same thing. It can also be like this, cube root. So this is called cube root because this the denominator will form what? The root. So, and in the denominator we have 3, right? It will form what? Cube root. So we have cube root of x. Is that you do it like this, raised to the power of what? 1. So it turns, it can be like this, and it can also be like this, x raised to the power 1. So anyhow you solve it is accepted. Now, what if you have x raised to the power 2, and let's start from 3 over 2. So if you have something like this, how will you do it? It's the same thing. So you just do it like this. This denominator will form root, right? Yes. Which is 2, right? Which is we can't say 2 roots, is square root. Abi? Yes. Square root of x. You can do like this, raised to the power of the numerator, which is 3. Or you can say square root of x raised to the power 3 is still the same thing. So, and so on and so forth. So whenever you come across this type of question in any given question, so you have to apply root power and fractional index. So this is how it goes. Now, let's talk about number 8 law, which is, I think, the last law, exponential function. Exponential function. So exponential function. Now, in this exponential function, that's what we call, we deal with index number. So it makes use of index number. For example, we know that the index form of 1, can be 1 raised to the power 0, 5 raised to the power 0, any number raised to the power 0. And you can also use 1 raised to the power 1. So these are the index form of 1. Any number raised to the power of 0. It gives what? 1. Now, we have another one, 4. The index form of 4 is what? 2 raised to the power of 2. So majorly, it deals with perfect squares. So if you don't know the index forms, you won't be able to solve any question that pertains to this exponential function. Now, we have the index form of 4 is 2 raised to the power 2. The index form of 9. The index form of 9 is 3 raised to the power what? 2. The index form of 16 is what? 4 raised to the power 2. The index form of 25 is 5 raised to the power 2. The index form of 36 is 6 raised to the power 2. The index form of 49 is 7 raised to the power 2. And also, let me just give you the common one that they do ask very well. There are common ones they do ask very well. They do ask 8, which is 2 raised to the power 3. So take note of that. They do ask 32, which is 2 raised to the power 5. 16, which is 2 raised to the power what? 4, or 4 raised to the power of what? 2. So they do ask this. You have to take note of that. So please take note of that. They do ask of that of 64, 8 raised to the power 2. They do ask that of 81, which is what? 81 is what? 9 raised to the power of what? 2. So they asked this a lot. So we have to be sensitive enough, and also you can say 3 raised to the power of 4. Yes. So be sensitive enough to to be able to know which one to use, because if they say 84 now, 64, so it's what? 8 raised to the power 2. 81. So it depends on the base. This one also deals with base. For example, let me give you one example, because many of you can't understand it except we dive into example. Now, let me just give one example. Something like this. 5 raised to the power of x is equal to 25. Find x. 5 raised to the power of x is equal to what? 25. Find what? X. So this is how they do ask the question. 5 raised to the power of x is equal to 25. Find x. See what we are going to do. You have to find the index form of 25 so that it will have equal base. So what can you do to 25 that will make the base to be equal to the base with that of this 5? Because what you are doing is because you are doing that, let the left hand side be equal to the what? Right hand side. That is the base. You are dealing with the base. The base of the right hand side must be equal with what? The base of the left hand side. So what can you do to 25 to make it equal with 5? The base at the what? Left hand side. So what you can do is to come here and what? Find the index form of what? 25. The index form of what? 25, which is what? 5 raised to the power of 2. So 5 raised to the power of x is equal to 5 raised to the power of 2. Because 5 raised to the power of 2 is the same thing as what? 25. So we have done something to 25 that make us have equal base with to this one is left hand side, this one is what? Right hand side. So if you check the base is the same, right? Now you can now cancel, then this will be equal to this, s is equal to what? 2. That becomes our answer. So that is why this exponential function is very, very important. Please, in our next video we are going to dive into calculation. We are done with the law of indices. Please do well to comment, like, share